Hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with Cage Warriors superstar Caolan Loughran. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, lad. Not too bad. How are you?
Yes, mate, I'm alright. So we'll just get this episode. We'll just be talking about your Cage Warriors sort of career so far, a wee bit before that, and a wee bit after. What's next? What's to expect next? So yeah, we'll just get straight into it. What got you started in the fighting?
Uh, well, I started boxing when I was young, and but it was only like the winters I done boxing. In Tyrone, kind of like to keep fit for like football, like whenever the football season was done, and I always been active for years and years. And then when I was about 16, I started getting like string of real bad knee injuries in Gaelic football, like ACL tears. I actually done it 3 times. I got done 3 times when I was 16, 17, and like space just over a year. Fucking, my head was racked, and I got real sick of the rehab. So I went down to MMA one night and literally got hooked on it. Never went back to football. That was it.
Yeah. And I think whenever you were saying there about getting injuries and stuff in Gaelic football, do you not think it would be you'd be more likely to get an injury doing MMA with your legs and stuff?
You would think that, lad, with the football, like I actually think it's probably a bit more dangerous than the fight. To be honest with you, obviously shots to the head and stuff's not good for you, like, but in terms of like ligaments and stuff like that, like I couldn't put fucking 2 months together in a football field without getting something popping. So my head was just racked with, and then I went to MMA and found found my true passion, I think.
Yeah. And did you ever have a reason to go professional? I know you had a good amateur career, but did that sort of persuade you to go pro a wee bit more, or was it always your dream once you got hooked to it?
Uh, I will. I started getting good at MMA pretty quick, to be honest. Because I had done a bit of boxing, and I was like, I know, somewhat athletic. I started getting on like the grappling pretty quick, and started catching guys and like in the gym who were training years longer than me. Started catching them with subs. So I kind of got hooked pretty quick on MMA. I thought I could do this long term, and then I started competing. Started winning titles. Won the two as an amateur in Ireland. You probably want the Clan Wars and the Cage Legs title. Well, you did then. Maybe now it's Cage Conflict, but at that time you did. You wanted them, and I won both of them. And I kind of thought, if I want to do this, I have to go. I have to be full in. I was full in terms of like my training stuff, but I thought I have to take it to the next level. So as an amateur, I went and moved over here to Liverpool, Team Caolan. So I knew then, like, I wasn't over to be an amateur. I was going over there to try and become a world champion. Go full in.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. And once you went pro, then you had your pro debut win. And did for you, because I've had a few fighters on before who says they haven't really found a difference between amateurs to the professional or MMA, but some have said there is a big difference. What's it like for you?
well, to be honest, lad, I had between pull-out stuff. I had a couple of fucking bombs. I had fought the best as an amateur, and had like been fighting for titles. And was fighting the top 2 or 3 guys in the UK every time, really. And then I went pro, and a couple of guys pulled out, so I had easier fights when I started my pro career, and I just gradually stepped it up. And I thought at that stage, COVID hit then, and I was like, this is kind of fucked me, and I was pulled back. But see, my coach, like, he's been doing MMA. He's been fighting 40 years. Like, he's a Thai boxer. It's not even just the martial arts side of the game that he gets. Like, it's the fight game, the business side of the game, the career side of the game. And he's been manager for likes of Till and Tom and that there. And I thought that time, COVID had fucked me. Like, he was like, if anything, pulling me back, like, not let me fight. Like, he didn't want me to sign Cage Wars and stuff because the time wasn't right. Because I believe if I had the same Cage Wars at the start of COVID, I'd already be in the UFC and be a champion. I have no doubt in my mind I would be. Or maybe I wouldn't be ready for the UFC now. I wouldn't be ready. Well, maybe I'd be at the bottom, but the top guys. But he pulled me back. And then whenever he thought the time was right, I signed the Cage Wars. And now I feel I'm at a level where if I'm committed, I'm mentally focused and driven, which I'm going to be, well prepared. I think I'll run through everyone in my division, so I don't see a big step up from amateur to Cage Warriors because I think because it was pulled back and my level went up so high in Team Caolan, I feel like I'm gonna run through. I'm gonna run through these guys. To be honest with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And my next question was going to be, you went 4-0 then, and then Cage Warriors then got a hold of you. So how big of sort of an achievement was that for you?
It will only be achievement you win the belt, but but like in terms of like dreams, like I want to be a Cage Warriors champion for so long. Like it's been, I noticed like lads now are going to PFL and stuff like that in Bellator in Ireland and chasing a quick dough. When I was at, like I understand that, like it's a big game. Like it's a hard life. Like there's easier ways to make a living than professional MMA because at the start of it there's no money in it. So guys going to PFL and stuff, I understand that. Like I was at PFL all week there when they were in London backstage with a teammate, and it's like their lethal promotion. But for me, it was always Cage Wars. It was always the way that like guys from Ireland done it. It was the way McGregor done it. The fucking Neil Seary, Redmond, all these guys. And then went through like Nathaniel Wood and Indigo. I mind watching them nights. That was always my goal. Like so, as soon as I got the Cage Wars contract, in my head, I was like, may as well have been a fucking UFC contract, because I knew what this was. And like you win the Cage Wars title, you're the number one guy in Europe. So I was buzzing, lad.
Yeah, yeah. And you won your first Cage Warriors fight, your Cage Warriors debut. And then after that, only about 2 months after that, you fought in Belfast then in Ireland.
Oh, lad.
Unbelievable. First of all, unbelievable fight from you. I was at the event myself, and the
Well,
atmosphere
yeah,
was crazy.
aye,
It was
that's
ridiculous.
good.
But how was
I
it
was
for you?
fucking. Do you know what it was, lad? Like the build up and all. Like I was nearly saying a fucking deck of rosary every day. I wouldn't get like an injury or something building up because it almost felt like too good. Like because it was training was going unreal, and I was doing like all my recovery work and stuff. But like I was getting like no injuries. Now for me, that's like rare. I was like, this is something's gonna fuck up here. Then I got the fight week, and I was feeling fucking unreal. Still no injuries. Like something's gonna fuck up here. But it didn't, lad. Just the whole, it felt big. Like the whole experience, like even staying in Europa that week, being about the whole team and getting like a just so stupid, like with like a professional bus down to the Odyssey and stuff. It just felt like it felt so cool. We're backstage. The first time I went like before the crowds in and stuff, you're there like early in the day and you get to go into the cage,
Yeah,
and then like the Odyssey's obviously empty and stuff. And it was just me and my brother Tiernan, and I was like, this is fucking lethal. Like, it was like literally stuff of dreams. And then warming up backstage and that, got to the walkout, and then got that reception and all that. I was just like, it's fucking deadly.
yeah,
And then, do you know what the thing, like the performance, like at the time, I suppose it wasn't too bad, but like I feel like I've learned so much, grown so much since that. I feel like I've improved so much since that fight. But the thing I was like happy with was because like what was right, with 5,000 people there and they're all going fucking AWOL. I was like very very relaxed, and that's something that I was like I can take from that fight. Like I think I'm born for the big moment.
yeah. And I think Ireland is sort of known for its atmosphere anyway. Do you know, like for example, Michael Conlan with boxing, all his events here are mad. So they are, and even Cage Conflict, for
Unbelievable.
example, Cage Conflict events are still very
100%.
good atmosphere. So
I
I
know.
think,
I must get one of them in the Devonish. I was at the one in the Fela last year. It was unreal, but I must get the one of them ones in the Devonish. They look fucking lethal.
yeah, and see, because the one at the Fela, it wasn't inside. See, whenever it's inside and it's compact, the atmosphere's brilliant. It is.
Like we
But
called them. Aye, definitely,
it is. It
definitely.
is. But I can't even remember. I was going to say something to you about it, but we'll just move on. We're going to
All
Reese
right.
McKee. Did you stay on to watch his fight? Because I know he was on straight after you, wasn't he?
Aye, lad. So I like you're taking after like they take you out of the cage wars and they like take you in like the media room for
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
interview stuff. And he's like, I'm not gonna, how long go after the main event? And I'm like, no, you have to go do it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna watch this fucking because see them too like Justin Train lost all over COVID and then like I know Reese like guys like if them two boys fight 100 times, it's gonna be a fucking scrap 100 times. Like I'm not missing this. And they're like, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. So then I rushed the first interview, just got it over and done with. And then we were like backstage watching it on like a TV with all the media guys, and
Yeah.
the fight started, and they're all waiting to interview me, and I goes, "Why the fuck are we all in here? why are we in here? Oh fuck that away." I
Yeah.
goes, "Why are we all in here?" And they all goes, "They're waiting to the interview." He's like, "We'll do it after." So me and like the vice managers, like all the media guys, literally all just ran out and watched it. Unbelievable performance. Hey, so much. Something about like a fighter, like when they're like taking a beating and just get through it. Because Reese, well, Justin's, I know how good Justin is. Justin is very, very fucking good. I've seen him train with like high level UFC guys stuff. I know Justin's good. And it was a tough first round for Reese, and he got through it. And see something of a fighter can show like that much heart come through it, especially in his hometown. And win a title like Cage Wars, it's unbelievable. That
Yeah.
unbelievable.
And
One of
it
the best
was
fights I've ever seen live.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say there. It
Uh,
was an unbelievable fight because it was back to forth, and then as soon as you got the knockout, the crowd erupted. But
fucking nuts.
it was class, and especially for you as well. Just I think it's because you were Irish, and there was a load of other Irish boys on it. Just as soon as they seen someone Irish and they won, the crowd just erupted for you.
100%, lad. 100%.
Yeah, and so now we'll move on to your upcoming fight. Then announced a few days ago, Cage Warriors
Yeah.
145 in London against Luke Shanks. What are you expecting from him? What does he bring to the table?
He's experienced, so he is. Um, Shanks, Shanks over the whole way through COVID was either the Cage Wars champion or fighting for the Cage Wars belt. So he is experienced. He's I don't think he is like, but top balls he having his number one ranked bantamweight. Not just he's up from flyweight to having his number one ranked bantamweight in the UK and Ireland. He's a big name, and I don't know if I should even be saying this, but I didn't know if I was going to be fighting him because after I'd signed him, they thought that he was going to be on the UFC Paris card. That's
Right,
what
okay.
Severe MMA had come to me, so I didn't know if the fight was going to happen or not because I thought that he there's a chance he was going to be on that. So he's obviously rated. Um, I don't know, lads. Coming off from flyweight, I think I'm going to run straight over the top of him instead of a round or 2 rounds. That's maybe in 100% honest. I don't think there's a man in the UK that can hit 57 kilos that can stop me from going through him. I don't think so, to be honest with you. He is experienced. He got a bit of a punch on him, bit of a neck attack. He's finished guys from all over, but I think there's levels to this fighting game, and I'm going to show him that.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think that's the same card as Paul Hughes and Jordan Vucenic for the title, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
going to be an unbelievable fight as well. This whole card's going to be stacked. I can't wait for it
yeah,
myself. But
it's going to be good, lad.
yeah.
It's going to be good.
So lastly, what's the short term goal? What's the long term goals? You obviously UFC there. You were saying.
Oh, the UFC's not even a goal, lads. Happening in my head. The way I say it, a few like really good Cage Wars guys as of late have been struggling in the UFC. So have like guys who have been tearing up in Cage Wars, like Figlack there in the Paris Yard, Mason Jones stuff. Was a two-way Cage Wars champion. So I'm in no rush. I was saying about my coach pulling me back, pulling back. You have to be honest with yourself. If I have to win this belt and defend it a few times before he thinks I'm ready, he's had 10 men in the UFC already. He knows more than me. Because sometimes a fighter needs to save for himself. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because obviously I would jump in with anybody in the world right now. But I'm first of all, I have to beat Shanks. You don't beat Shanks, it all goes away. Do you know what I mean? I would imagine the winner of this fight is fighting for the belt, be that vacant title or against Wooding. So I'm gonna run through Shanks, gonna try and steal the show here in fucking London, and then I think early next year I'm gonna be fighting for the belt. Hopefully that's on a show in Ireland. I would imagine that's gonna be in either Belfast or Dublin, like hopefully. But obviously I don't know any shows. But I think that's it. Win this, and I'm fighting for the belt. 1, 2 defenses, and then I'm in the UFC. That's how I see it. But again, no rush. If that takes another year, so no bar. I don't mind.
Yeah, yeah. Caolan, thank you very much, mate, for coming on to the show. It's been a pleasure to have you. Thanks very much.
Anytime, lad, legend.
Thank
Anytime.
you. See you later. Cheers.